Hello again. I'm often accused of being preoccupied or obsessed with subjects such as immigration and race, but I'm very far from convinced that this is so. It is rather that the news these days is crammed with stuff relating to those two topics, and I simply discuss what I read in the papers or see on Twitter. Here are one or two items which have caught my eye just today. I will start with two from this country. The Football Association has been sued for racial discrimination by a black woman football coach called Christina Oshodi. She was employed by the FA, who queried some of the expenses which she was claiming in the course of her work. These included Kentucky Fried Chicken and Domino pizzas. She claimed that the food she was buying was culturally specific, part of what she described as her cultural dietary requirements. Now, if I suggested that the tendency towards obesity, which is noticed among Africans and Caribbeans in Britain, was due to eating too much greasy and fatty food, such as fried chicken and pizza, I am sure that somebody would have challenged me and levelled an accusation of racism at the idea. Here, though, is a black woman who says openly that fried chicken is part of her cultural requirements. In a disgracefully insensitive ruling, an employment judge has now dismissed her claims of racism on the part of the FA for not accepting all those bills for Kentucky and Domino. Also in this country, at Croydon Crown Court, and there's a clue, a father has pleaded guilty to arranging for his 13-year-old son to have sex with a prostitute. When the boy said he didn't wish to have sex with a 26-year-old, his father told him, "Don't be a pussy." He also offered his son cocaine. One hesitates to jump to hasty conclusions, but I would be prepared to bet that this man is not called David Smith or Robert Jones. In Sweden, there is a new epidemic of gun crime relating to gangs of youths. I lived in Sweden for a while in 1978, and it was the most peaceful and dull place you can imagine. I couldn't wait to get back to the Middle East. These days, of course, it has the highest level of gun crime in the whole of Europe, and shootings and bombings are happening all the time. For the last few years, these have been the work of Albanians, but now there are gangs headed by young men with names such as Ismail Abdo and Rawa Majid. These people are also keen to shoot one another, and in the description to this video, I give a link to a BBC News item about this. I cannot help but think that something must have happened to alter Sweden out of all recognition since last I was there almost 50 years ago. I'm sure that there must be a word which sums up what has caused such a dramatic change from the most peaceful and law-abiding place in Europe to somewhere that gun and bomb attacks are the order of the day. Can anybody help me out here and come up with a word to describe this regrettable change? Finally, with all the debates over illegal immigration to this country, it is interesting to see how two other countries have handled the problem. I'm thinking here of Italy and Iran. The Italians are now using their navy to intercept small boats heading their way, and instead of letting them land in Italy, they are escorting them to Albania, where they can live in custom built camps and make an application for asylum without ever even entering Italy. In Iran, they are adopting an even simpler and more straightforward method. Pakistan has chucked out a large number of Afghans lately, and so some are leaving Pakistan of their own accord and trying to enter Iran illegally. The Iranians have had enough of this, and so 3 days ago they ambushed a group of 300 Afghans trying to sneak into their country and opened fire on them with automatic weapons and rocket propelled grenades. There were many casualties, but it may probably be assumed that fewer people will in the future be minded to cross the border illegally in attempts to enter Iran. As I say, it's less that I am obsessed with immigration and race than that the news is absolutely full of stuff like this every single day lately. In the description to this video, I give links to the things about which I've been talking this afternoon.